Hello, everyone. Welcome for another session of an absence, where today we would be looking into a topic called as the absence reason, a very easiest topic. So, where do we make use of absence reason is when we are recording any absence, and if organization wants their staff members to also select a reason, or if they wanted a reason to be made mandatory, how is that can be done? So those are all the things that we would be looking into today. Let's quickly start. I would be going into, I'm in the home page now. I would be going into absence work area, where we have already seen how a set of all the absence tasks can be seen. So under this absence definitions, we have some task under this, and one of the task is absence reason. So let's get into an absence reason. Let's create one absence reason instead of looking into anything that is existing. So what I'm gonna do is, for any of the effective date that while you're creating, right, when you're providing effective date, provide it as either 0101 1951, or you could give it as 0001. So that would be the initial date. So the time I change this, even the effective start date would change. So the name that I'll provide is I'll attach this for an annual leave. So let's give it as annual leave. I mean, any reason that you want to associate, let's give it as just a reason. Description, you could provide anything. Legislation, I'm going to associate it for Australia, since I have for one, I'm created for Australia now. Let me create it there. So that is all. We have this legislative information and descriptive information. Descriptive information is nothing but of flex fields. So both this context segment that we are seeing, these are flex fields that we are seeing. If you would want to associate any of the flex fields, like if you want to categorize the reasons, then in that case, we could create this flex field, and then you could say this reason would come under so and so reason and so category. So that can be derived in other place, or it can be made used in the reports. So mostly here, whatever the flex fields that we gonna create, it is gonna be useful in the report. So that the set of categorized reasons, if I would want to fetch, that can be fetched. Enough, I'll not be creating any absence reason flex field. So let that as it is. How you would want to see the flex field details is you'll have to enable this flex field. You'll have to go here, highlight the flex fields here, and you will be able to see the flex field name. And then under manage flex field, you will be able to provide an adding of the flex field that you would want to create under this. So that is all. Absence annual leave test reason. I'll just click save and close. Now I have absence reasons ready. So once you have the absence reason, you will have to go and associate with the absence types. Annual leave. So let me open. So let me use some other leave type that we have, test leave. So this is under inactive status now. Let's activate this. Okay. Under display features, there is plans and reasons. We will go and associate this reason there. But under display features, what we'll do is, first we'll have to provide the date, like when you wanted this action that I'm gonna take to be effective from. I wanted it to take effective from the initial date itself. So, okay, the effective date of this is today's date, because I just created this today. So let's keep it as it is. It's correct. And under this display features, under primary absence details, click on this action, correct it here. So now that for this annual leave, I do not have any of the reasons enabled. So I'll make it enable. If you want, if you just want to provide some reasons to associate with the absence type when recording an absence, you could just provide it as a display and edit. But if you wanted staff members to mandatorily provide the reasons when they're recording absence, then you have to make it as entry required. So this makes it as mandatory field. Okay. So let's make it as a mandatory field for ESS person. And that is when an employee tries to do it, it is mandatory. And for others, it's display and edit. So we have 4 options totally, which is do not display, display only, which means by default, if you want something to get displayed, you could use this option. Display and edit is like you provide an option, but it's still a choice for staff members. Entry required is making that as mandatory. So I'll make for admin as do not display, for manager as display and edit, for employee as mandatory one. Okay, so now let's click save and close. Okay, let's also activate this. We did not activate this type. Click on this. Correct. And then in this, let's activate it. Okay, so now our leave type is ready. Let's log in as an employee and see how absence reasons can be seen for this absence type. Okay, so let's also associate the leave absence reasons that we created. So we enabled it as a required field. Now let's click on edit and correct. Select and add. So I'm going to select it as see the reasons that we created. We have them here. If you want this to be defaulted, we could do that. So let this reason be defaulted. I'll create another reason. Another reason would be other. So I don't want this to be defaulted. Then keep this as it is. So now we have everything ready. Let's save and close. Okay, now I'll log in as an employee and then we'll see how the employee would be able to see the absence reason. I'll log in as a manager. How that is, let's see all that options now. Okay, now if you see, I have logged in as an employee. This is an employee login. Let's get in under Me tab. Let's get into absence, time and absences. And then add absences. So this is the option that we activated. And for an employee, if you could see, this is getting defaulted now. The other option that we have is other. So since it is a mandatory field, this is a required field for an employee login. Let's also check how it looks for a manager. Okay, so this is a manager login under my team. Let's get into my team. So under this, my team apps. So this was the employee that we were looking into. But as a manager, how I could add an absence for this employee, let's take a look at that. Okay, so for this annual leave test, so for manager, it shouldn't be a mandatory, but it is available. See, this is not a required field. So this is how it is available for. He could actually make an edit, but he could also just leave it blank as well. Okay, manager need not have to provide the uh, this field. But for HR admin, if you remember, we haven't associated a reason at all. So let's see how HR login, HR admin can actually log if there's absence. Okay, this is an admin login that I'm trying to log an absence for the same employee. So if you could see now, there isn't any reasons field that is available. So if this is how the reasons, absence reasons, attaching absence reasons, creating a new absence reason and associating it for the different transaction works. So this was about the absence reasons, but we also have one more thing which is called as adjustment reasons. So how is this gonna work? Let's get back to admin login and then see how implementation login and see how that can be done. Okay, this is an implementation consultant login. So for all the accrual plans under plan participation and absence record page, we would be able to see the leaves. So here there's an option for any of the leave types where we would be able to adjust this leave balances. So how is that? So when you're trying to do adjust balance, you would be seeing an option as a reason. This is not same as what we see it for absence reason. This is a different thing. So if I needed any other option here, how would I be able to add such reason? So if a customer asks for any other reasons apart from what we have the delivered drop down values, how do we do that? Let's check that. Let's go back to home page. Setup and maintenance, we have to navigate to manage common lookups. So here, look for the type which, so usually all the absences lookups we would be looking starts with ANC underscore ABS. Okay, so which should be, so this is the one. ANC absence plan other reasons. So when you, this is of extension type. So here we have all the options. Let me create one other option saying adjustment. It's a best ATJ. Adjustment reason. Best. I'll give the same as description. If you would want this reason to be tagged only for certain legislation, if there are multiple legislation, you could do that. So that is why we have this tag options. So I'm going to leave this open. I'll click save and close. Okay. So once we have this ready, let's go to manage. Okay, let's go back to home page. Absences. Absences. Absences plan that we have to go. And then type should be an accrual. So let's go and check annual leave. Under entries and balances, So if you see, these are the adjustment reason which is coming by default. But what we'll do, we'll correct this and we'll say see adjustment reason test. If I enable this and if I save and close, this adjustment reason would be available at the annual leave options, like adjustment reason that we were seeing. So let's check that. Let's create it as 19. It was 2001, which was effective. So I've changed that. And then under entries and balances, let's we have already created this under this. Along with what is available, I'll create it as adjustment reason test. And then click save and close. So now let's go back to absence record page. Let's select one employee. Okay, for this annual leave, let's adjust the balance. See, adjustment reasons test. So this is how you would be able to add the reasons for the adjustment reason, and under manage reasons, you would be able to add the reasons for the absence reasons. So that was about the today's session. Let's meet again in another absence session. Until then, bye.